Here it is, the scrapbook. Relates back to some time I spent in Prague before the war. It's a little heavy, I'm afraid. Yeah. Now, a lot of that stuff is just touristy stuff, postcards and so on and so forth. And, yes, that's it. There's some letters relating to the transport of children to Britain.
Ah. These are the 8 children you saved.
No, it was a few more than that. If you turn the pages, you can see. I sent out those cards for people to choose, you know. And I must say, it was a bit like selling soap powder, if you know what I mean. I couldn't, for the life of me, think how else I could find enough families to take in so many kids.
Forgive me, but how many children are we speaking about?
Oh, 669 we successfully placed.
You brought 669 children from Prague to England?
Well, I mean, with my colleagues, Doreen Moreno, Trevor Chadwick and Hannah, and but there are so many other people involved, you know. And my own mother, she was a great help. And I suppose I'm the only one left now. At least I think I am.
Hello everyone and welcome to another movie review. I am happy that you can join me today. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Click the subscribe button below for future notifications and updates. Click the like button and share this content with other movie fans. Okay, I was able to see an advanced screening of the new film One Life. It premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival back in September of last year. It was released in theaters in the UK back in January, and it will be released in theaters here in the US this Friday, March 15th. It is a biopic drama directed by James Hawes, and it stars Anthony Hopkins, Johnny Flynn, and Helena Bonham Carter. The running time is 1 hour and 50 minutes. It tells the true story of Nicholas Winton. According to his biography, he was a British stockbroker and a humanitarian who helped to rescue 669 Jewish children in Czechoslovakia who were at risk of being murdered by Nazi Germany during the Holocaust. Now, I never knew about him before going into the theater. So when I realized I was going to watch another movie about the Holocaust, honestly, I was upset because I am tired of watching movies about the Holocaust and World War II. And I am not, I do not intend to offend anyone, but that's how I feel. But I stayed until the end credits and I gave this film a chance. So the movie starts with the elderly Nicholas Winton, played by Anthony Hopkins, who has a talk with his wife about the expected arrival of their first grandchild. They plan to invite their daughter and son-in-law to live with them for a while, so his wife asks him to clean his stuff and his belongings to lighten up the place and make it look less junky. So while he is cleaning, Winton finds an album book of the children he helped to rescue during the Holocaust at a time right before the Nazis arrive in what is now known as the Czech Republic. He had the album book buried and forgotten in his house for 40, 50 years. So he decides to find a museum he can donate the book to because he thinks it might be of value to someone. The movie flashes back to the 1940s where the young Nicky Winton, played by Johnny Flynn, decides to volunteer for a charity organization that gives out food and supplies to needy people during the war. Nicky discusses a plan with his 3 colleagues about getting Jewish children out of the country to England, which at the time was a safe place. The original plan was to smuggle out 2,000 children, but his colleagues realized they might not be able to do that before the Nazis arrive to where they are. So they changed the plan to get 1,000 children out. However, in order to carry out the plan, they need sponsors in England to adopt them, and they need papers. To help assist Nicky back in England is his mother, played by Helena Bonham Carter.
Everyone in Prague is trying to get out. My son is trying to get in. Did you speak to Martin?
I did. Turns out he's not going to be there. He's escorting some refugees out of the country and then he's heading back home to London.
Nicky.
Look, I have to do something. You of all people should understand that. Isn't that what you taught me? Well, I can't just sit here reading about it. These people need help.
I was never in doubt that the cause was just. Only whether Prague is safe.
Now, I won't tell you what happens in the end so that I don't spoil it. And in case you're not familiar with Nicholas Winton's story, because I was not familiar with his story, but what I can say is while many people considered him to be a hero, the elderly Winton feels guilty for being unable to save more lives. And I understand how he thinks and how he feels, because he had a plan of getting 1,000 children out, but he was only able to rescue less than 700. Now, I thought long and hard about how I was going to score this film because a part of me was conflicted. I had a talk with my sister who graduated from film school, and she gave me the clarity that I needed. My main concern was, should I take into account that I am tired of watching movies about the Holocaust, or should I not? And her reply was, just score the film based on its own merit. So I am taking her advice and doing just that. I am giving this film 4.5 out of 5 stars. There are minor flaws to this film that I don't think is worth me pointing out. And when it comes to films, I try not to be picky and overanalyze what I see. My score is based on the fact that I did not see any major flaws with this film. That's number 1. Number 2, I think the story of Nicholas Winton deserved to be told on film because I think he is a hero. Number 3, and this goes back to my biggest gripe with The Zone of Interest, this movie is based on a man with integrity and a strong sense of morals. I think anyone with a guilty conscience, regardless of race or religion, would have done whatever they can do to save the life of a child, let alone 669 children. Forget the fact that they are Jewish. Children are innocent people that don't deserve to suffer that kind of trauma. If you saw my review of For the Zone of Interest, I asked the question, why would you spend time and money making a movie centered around a Nazi commander? One of the most powerful characters in this movie, for me, was a 12-year-old girl who had a baby. And when the young Nicky asked if the baby was her sister or her child, the translator said the baby is an orphan, and the 12-year-old decided to take care of her because the baby had no one. Now, later on in the film, you find out what happened to both children, but to see a 12-year-old have compassion and care for someone she is not related to is a powerful thing to see. And it's a humbling experience for Nicky and also for the audience watching this movie. Now, I know people will compare this film to Schindler's List, and I get the parallels between the two, but I just want to focus on what this film brings. Anthony Hopkins and Johnny Flynn gave amazing, respectful performances. They did incredible jobs bringing Nicholas Winton to life on screen, and I have to say their performances are reasons enough to see this film. I have been a longtime fan of Anthony Hopkins, and every time I see him in a movie, I am reminded as to why he is one of the greatest actors alive. So that is all for today, my friends. Thank you very much for watching. Again, I give this movie 4.5 out of 5 stars. One Life will be released in theaters Friday, March 15th. Until next time, take care and God bless.